Hi, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Are you ready?
I am ready. I am ready.
Cool. Well, how can I help you?
Well, basically, kind of how I said in my pre-screen, I'm pretty much in the beginning stage of all this stuff. I haven't gotten a driver or a client as of now. For the past, 5 to 6 months, I've kind of been doing my due diligence on all this stuff. I have a little bit of experience in trucking, not any semis, but I drove box trucks for probably about 3, 4 years, and before I started my painting journey. But I'm just trying to get back into this whole thing and figure out how to elevate my career a little bit.
Okay.
So I just got a few questions, and excuse me if I've watched a lot of your videos, not all of them. So if anything you've already went through with some of your videos, and I got a question for, my apologies.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. Now, are we talking about are you going to be a dispatcher or a driver?
Dispatcher.
Dispatcher. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I guess I'll start off with so my whole thing of how I'm looking at it for my particular company. This might I don't want to put myself in a box just starting off, but would you say trucking companies hire more third-party dispatchers, or are they more likely to have dispatchers in-house? Because I feel like I would rather be on the side of a company contacting me, wanting services to dispatch their truck, instead of owner-operators. Uh, so what do you feel on that leg of how I'm looking at it?
Well, honestly, as you know, as far as I know, most trucking companies they like to have their own dispatchers in house. Like on their own payroll, and dispatchers who strictly work for them inside their office, and they only work with their trucks. Most uh, trucking companies like that, and most trucking companies have that. Now, it's been like in last 5 years or maybe a little bit more, this became a trend where independent dispatchers started offering their services. Like 10 years ago, you could rarely find something like this. This was not a thing. Yeah, it only just started recently. So a lot of trucking companies don't even know that these kind of services exist. The only way they know it, sometimes they have they get these phone calls, and I get these. I have a trucking company myself as well, and I get a lot of phone calls from these independent dispatching companies calling me, and the way they are doing it, they're doing it wrong. They're like, and I don't have time to talk to them, and I just tell them, no, thank you. But that's why I'm trying to teach everyone how to, talk to carriers, how to talk them into working with you, how to make them want to work with you. That's the thing. But no, you can do it this way. It's fine. You can still be an independent dispatcher, even though most trucking companies prefer. Like usually these bigger companies, they have like 20, 50, 100 trucks, and they have their own dispatchers. But companies that have like one, two, three, five trucks, that's your shot. That's where it would work for them to hire you as an independent dispatcher.
And that's exactly the lane that 1 to 5 truck or 2 to 5 truck lane that I would love to target. So I guess that'll lead right into my next question. What's your favorite way of finding new drivers? Would it be a cold calling, or do you think marketing, social media presence, and just pretty much exposure to your company is more important?
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's a little bit of everything. Of course, cold calling, that's still probably like at least half of the clients, but then other means of marketing, like social networks. That's a big one. For me, I've been so fortunate with this channel that most of my customers come through the YouTube channel. But
Uh,
from what I've been seeing, with others, it's cold calling and social networks, and I would concentrate on one or two networks, social networks, not five of them. But then then after you grow a little bit, then you can, print out some flyers, visit some truck stops in person, talk to drivers. But if you don't feel comfortable with cold calling, and I know that sometimes, it's not like people will just tell you, bad words and like, because they don't want any.
Started, man, maybe about a month ago. I just got on the FMCSA website, and I just kind of started cold calling. Cause along with your channel, there are a couple other channels on YouTube that I follow. I just started cold calling, and man, that was a war zone.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, it's not definitely, like when people start brushing you off, but then, cold calling, if you go to a FMCSA website and just find random carriers, that for me is not that effective. Once you get a DAT board account, like a load board account,
I don't got one.
okay, well then you can look for posted trucks, like drivers who are posting their trucks, or trucking companies, and they need loads, and then you have something, like they need a load, and you may call them up and say, hey, I can help you find a load. If I don't find anything, you don't pay me, but if I found you a load, this is how much I charge. So that's a better chance for you to get a customer that way, because they have a truck, they need a load, and then you can offer them that. That's better way.
I've heard that strategy. Now, do you think that's a little? I don't want to say manipulative, but if they have that already, they're posting a truck. Do you think 9 times out of 10 they're expecting for a broker to call them instead of a kind of a middleman like how I'll be and saying that I'll find them a load? Because if they're already on the load board,
That is true. That is true, but like especially in times like these, where everyone just needs a load, and they're willing to do a lot of things that before they were not willing to do. Now everyone's gonna be like, well, I need a load. Just if you find me something, I'll be happy to pay you. And then if you introduce yourself and say, hey, this is what I do, you don't tell them, hey, I can find you a load, and then you charge them. No, you tell them right away, this is what I do. I'm an independent dispatcher. I help you find loads. And if you don't want it, that's fine. I don't think it's manipulative because you told him, who you were and what you do.
okay, yeah, I got you, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I don't want to go about. I really just want to be a professional in this space, and that's why it pretty much took me so long to kind of get my foundation set up, because I don't want to. I don't want to play anybody. I really want to be in this space and be a professional and go about it the right way, and not be a bad dispatcher at the end of the day. So.
Oh yeah, and that's great. That's a really great way to start off a business. I'm sure you succeed if you're thinking. I mean, it might be harder in the beginning, but then if you build your company based on trust, and honesty, then you're gonna go a long way. But like I said, if you tell them right away, hey, this is what I do, I don't think there is anything wrong with that. You're just advertising your services, and if they don't want to talk to you, they just say no, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That's another good segue. Another question I have. Do you use as many load boards as you can find? Like, like your JB Hunts, like some of these trucking big companies have their own load boards now. A lot of them do. Or do you primarily use that?
I primarily use that board, but, there are few large broker websites, their load boards that I use all the time, like CH Robinson, JB Hunt, TQL, Uber, XPO, like these major players. Definitely, you should check their websites. And, once you get a customer or two, and then once you register their account on those websites, then you can use their accounts just to look for loads. That way. But yeah, you should there's another big player, Truck Stop. Truck Stop is okay, especially when DAT board is down, and DAT board they tend to go down a lot. So truck stop is good to have as a backup, and it doesn't hurt. Like if you can't find a load, if you're not that busy, you're just looking for a load, just have like 5 tabs open on your computer, and just go through them all the time. That's what you do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What else was I gonna say? Let me go through my notes here real quick. Okay, so when it comes to let's say me finding my first my first driver, first carrier, I heard you in one of your videos pretty much saying that as an independent dispatcher, you're really not locking them into any contract like they would be if they were leased out to a carrier or something like that. But I do have a dispatcher carrier agreement, and in my agreement, this might be a little too much, but I'm kind of I'm kind of locking them in for a month at a time. And well, that's how I have it laid out now. It's nothing set in stone, but that's in my agreement. So I can really, kind of count on maybe some income coming in for my company versus, this guy or girl wants me to dispatch them Monday and Wednesday, but then I don't hear from them, on their third load for the week or whatever, however that goes. Do you think that'll scare off potential clients to lock them into a 30-day type of thing? I mean, they can cancel it at any time, but they have to have it set up so they can give me a notice, maybe at least, 5, 10, 2 weeks
Well,
before they can do anything else with anybody else. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a good idea, and I think it should be done that way. Even like sometimes we get frustrated as well, when they just you look for them all day and they just tell you, hey, I found a load for myself. It is frustrating. However, yeah, I mean, if someone wants to stay with you, they will stay with you no matter if you have a contract or not. It's I think to give you a short answer, I think it will scare them away. Unfortunately, this kind of industry, you can't rely on anything. It can change. Everything can change. Any second. And if you have a driver that's really loyal, and that they're gonna stay with you. But if you have a driver that they're gonna go with someone else, they're gonna go with someone else no matter what they sign. So in my opinion, I don't think you should do it just because you're gonna scare them away. Because they're if they don't wanna work with you or me, they're just gonna find someone else either way. And no contract is gonna make them stay. Because at the end they know what are you gonna do. Like you can't go after them.
Right, right. Okay, thanks for that. Let's see here. Let's see that. Where is that here? I only got a few minutes left. Okay, here. Do you recommend? I'll see if I can get somebody on tomorrow. Do you recommend me checking in with an owner operator every time I book them a load, or should I tell them kind of like, hey, give me the space to kind of, dispatch you. Maybe you give me a region, a time you want to be back home, or do you suggest, I have to contact them every time I find a load and confirm it with them before I confirm it with the broker and sign the rate con and all that stuff? Or how do you operate?
That that would be really up to the owner operator. So every time, when we get a new owner operator on board, we have this initial call and we ask them, all those things like where they like to go, that kind of stuff. But then we also ask them, hey, do you want us to call you every time before we book the load or no? And most of them say yes, they want to be called. So it comes with the job, But after a while, most of these drivers, you're gonna get to know them, where they like to go, how much they like to, the load to be paid, and what's like the weight limit. All those things. After a while, like 2-3 weeks, you get to know them, and then slowly you're just gonna start booking loads for them because what they like and they know they can trust you. But it always takes a little bit of time to get to know them. But then also I have drivers, even after 7 years of being with me, they still want me to call them. So everyone is different.
Yeah, I hear you. Out of curiosity, man, I know you, if I'm not mistaken, you drove truck yourself for a while before you got into dispatching. So, how did you find your first client?
So when I drove, I was an owner operator for a while, with my own truck, and I also was a company driver for a while. When I was a company driver, that was different. You just go wherever they send you. But when I was owner operator, I usually ran Michigan to Texas and back to Midwest and then to Michigan, and they know, like from here at that time, the rate from Grand Rapids, Michigan to like Dallas, Texas was like, I don't know, like 2,500. And they knew, like I pick up on Monday, deliver Wednesday, uh, 25, 24, 26. They would just book it, after. So they got to know me. And then same thing to come back. Only, if there is something out of ordinary, like there are no loads and they have like 2 or 3 stops or something too heavy, then, they would call you and check with you.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so I've heard of dispatchers dispatching close to 10 trucks at a time. Like, is this all fluff, or what's a good number to be at? Kind of before I start thinking about, 'cause, at the end of the day, eventually I want to start hiring people into the company. After I get my leg in and get good and get really solid at what I'm doing, what's a good number to start thinking about? You know what? Hey, let's see if we can start searching for potential people to start dispatching with me. Or what do you think a good number is?
I think a really good number to make it easy for you and to not make you go crazy is 5 trucks. I know there are a lot of dispatchers who do 10 trucks, and that's doable. I know dispatchers who do 20 trucks, but that's usually with like company trucks who have their own lanes, and it's just easy to give them loads. But with owner operators, I know for a fact that a lot of dispatchers do it like 10 trucks easily. But then, you gotta be committed. You gotta be consistent. You gotta be at work every day, start at 7, 8, till work till 5, 6, no sick days. And you always have to be on top of things, and that's an experienced dispatcher, and that's okay. But after like a year or two, it's just you get tired. It's too much, especially if you have your own business, like you're gonna have. You have to deal with other things as well, like accounting, taxes, permits, all those things, and it's not just gonna be dispatching for you. So I think like 5, 6 trucks is gonna, like, along with other things that you're gonna be doing on the side, like back office work. That's good. Once you get to like 6, 7, then you can be like, okay, well, maybe I should think of hiring someone and then see how that's gonna work. And then once you hire someone, try to get them more trucks so you can pay them.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Okay, so I'm personally going to be starting off at 8% for my services, and that's obviously the dispatching, and it's also invoicing to factoring companies, and just being their truck breaks down or anything, I'll see if there's any tow assistance or anything like that. I was even thinking about monthly, little progress reports to kind of show them like what they've been doing, where they've been going, so we can be totally transparent with each other. Is that 8% with just offering those specific things? Is that too much?
In my opinion, it's not too much, but there are so many dispatching companies popping up, especially from abroad, and for them it makes sense to work for a lot less. Um, and that kind of hurts us here in United States. And I've been telling everyone not to do that. Even if you live abroad, just don't go low. 8%, I think is okay if you want to try it and see what they like the reaction. If 90% of drivers are like, hey, that's way too much, then maybe you should think about lowering to like 6 or 7. But at the end, I think what drivers are looking for, if someone is going to give you a tough time about 1%, I don't know if they're going to be good driver to dispatch, because if they look for quality and if they look for help, they will pay you, and they understand that you gotta be paid, you gotta make some money too. If they're trying to like save 20, $30, then it's gonna be like that the whole time, and they're not gonna work with you all the time. They're probably gonna find someone. The minute someone comes up like cheaper, they're just gonna go with them. So if someone is willing to work with you and they need a good dispatcher, they will pay.
Okay, man. Well, I know I'm out of time, man. I'm right across. I'm in Metro Detroit, man. So I know you're over there on the west side of Michigan. So it was good talking to another Michigander.
Nice,
And,
same here.
And thank you so much, man, for this consultation. And I'll continue to watch your videos and try to get some more information. And maybe I'll send you a text message, man, once I get my first driver on board.
Yep, and if you need any questions, just text me, and then I can try to help you as much as I can.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Thank you, sir. You too. Bye.